absolutely nobody should buy this ROG Xbox Ally.
It's hard for me to even understand what this is, let alone explain it to you.
When you compare it to everything else on the market, it makes it a really, really tough sell. So for right now, no, I don't think the ROG Xbox Ally is worth it.
The Xbox Ally is absolutely amazing. And I'm tired of pretending it's not. Let's talk about this thing. So this is the ROG Xbox Ally, specifically the base model. This handheld here got a lot of hate when it first came out, and for a couple of valid reasons. At launch, the only OS that this supported was Windows, which it was a handheld version of Windows, or a Windows that was edited in order to run better on handheld and take up about 2 less gigs of RAM. It really was not a good experience. Performance was leaving a lot to be desired. It was just a choppy experience. You'd have to restart Windows every time you want to switch to desktop. It is $600, and not to mention its chipset. It is nearly identical to the Steam Deck's chipset, except it's actually it is identical. The only difference is that it is a newer revision, and its CPU clock is set to 3.8 gigahertz instead of 3.5, as well as its GPU is set up to 1800 megahertz instead of 1600. It's got a max TDP limit of 20 watts instead of the Steam Deck's 15, and its chipset has been a little calibrated to make better use of those higher wattages than the Steam Deck's chipset. There is a reason this has become such a great buy recently. Not too long ago, SteamOS 3.9 was uploaded, and it supports this device. It'll run on the Xbox Ally, which I'm a little dumbfounded that 3.8 didn't, being that this is the Steam's chipset. That's just really odd to me. It makes a massive difference, I'll tell you that much. First off, let's talk performance. I ran a few benchmarks. I'll pull up a chart of how it performed in Horizon Zero Dawn first. And you can see that 16% lead on the Steam Deck LCD and an 8% lead on the Steam Deck OLED. Once you bump that to 20 watts, you jump from a 16% lead from the Steam Deck LCD up to a 26% lead. And now that is absolutely massive, I tell you that much. I'll get into what that percentage translates to in like real world performance afterwards. Next, let's move on to Cyberpunk. You can see the same trend here. For Cyberpunk, it makes pretty good use of both the Steam Deck OLED and LCD. The Xbox Ally, once again, we see a massive lead here. At 15 watts, it can get about 16% more performance out of it. And at 20 watts, once again, jumps to about 26%. This trend applies just across the board. This chipset is just more performant in that sense. Battery life on this thing is absolutely amazing as well. I played through The Wolf Among Us. I beat the entire game without having to charge it one time. That is absolutely insane. Next, let's talk about the ergonomics of this thing. Oh, this thing's so comfortable. This thing is such a great device to hold in the hand. It's a little on the heavier side, but I don't really game long enough for that to become an issue. I used to say that the Steam Deck was the pinnacle of handheld ergonomics, and I'm really not sure if I believe that anymore. This handheld feels so nice to have in my hands. This has just become such a great device. So here is some gameplay of Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 running on the Xbox Ally. This is a game that I would consider unplayable on the Steam Deck. And this thing's pretty much locked to 30 FPS. I have it set to 900p with the RS to compensate there. This thing's just absolutely amazing in this game. A lot of games that are not playable on the Steam Deck run beautifully on this thing, which for a $50 difference between this and the Steam Deck, plus you get a VRR panel. As of now, these things are on sale for $500. And you can pretty much always find a used one for $500. That's how I got mine. I would consider this an absolutely amazing buy, and I would recommend it to anyone now. But install SteamOS on it. Windows is trash. Stay cautious and stay spooky, everyone.